Hey guys, welcome to Indian Creek Bow Hunting Journal. This is a bow hunting RadNek, and on today's episode we have a review for you, kind of a, if you will, a comparison between the BlackOut Pursuit and then also the BlackOut Epic. Now these are two what you would call budget bows. The Epic actually runs $600 and the Pursuit runs $500, but I just noticed on Cabela's website that the Epic was going for $550, $549 and some change. And these are what they call RTH bows, which are ready to hunt. So you're going to get features in this bow right out of the package, so you can go hunting right away, get those things set up and dialed in and head out to hunting. So we're going to take a quick look at these two, the differences between the two and which one you might want. So be sure and stay tuned. So let's get this rolling. Nothing new under the sun, one life to live, seeking fun. But shallow is the self-lived life. For me, myself, oh, so much strife. But Jesus is the answer for a life perplexed and wanting more. It's never easy self to deny, but it's the only way to a life on high. I just want to give a quick shout out to Cabela's. That's where I demoed these two bows. I appreciate them guys allowing me to shoot these bows. And I just want to give you my impressions, and then I'll give you my ratings based on a 5-star system. That is, a 5-star being perfect or the best, and of course 1-star being the worst. And then I just want to give you my impressions of these bows. Now, if you're in the market for one of these particular bows, means that you're probably wanting to save some money. This is probably not a first bow that you would want to buy. I'll try to explain some of those reasons why as we get going. But just a little bit of background on myself. I've owned a lot of bows over the years, some budget bows. In the last several years, I've owned a lot of professional level bows that are more higher quality, I guess you'd say, than the bows that we have. And so I'm probably going to be a little bit hard on these bows, because once you start shooting bows that cost $1,000 and more, the quality is going to be quite a bit better. So you'll probably find me to be a little bit hard on these bows, but these are pretty good bows. Like I said, I was able to demo both of them at Cabela's. So let's jump into this. And I'm just going to go ahead and give you my evaluation as I'm rolling some video there of me shooting it at Cabela's. I don't have those bows in hand with me right now, but I'll explain some of the things that go along with this. First of all, let's look at the specs on these bows. The Pursuit, if you will, the Pursuit bow, the one I demoed, I believe, was a 70-pound version. I cranked that down to about 65 pounds. That's what I try to shoot. And that comes in a 45 to 60 pound and also a 55 to 70 pound limbs you can buy on those. The brace height is 6.5. That is the distance between, if you will, the hand grip and the string between there. And the reason for that, or the shorter you get on that, the faster your arrow is going to be. But the shorter you get, the less, way I'd describe it is, the less stable the bow is going to be. More chance for torque, because the distance between your axle points and the handle grip is a lot less. And so you can just imagine the bow would have more tendency to do this. Okay, that's the best way I explained it in my RadNek terms. Okay, and then on the Pursuit is 4.1 pounds. That's a really good weight for bows, in my opinion. Arrow speed is going to be 330 feet per second, And the axle length is 31 inches, and the draw length is 26.5 to 30 inches on that bow. Now the Epic comes in, again, the same poundage on the limbs. You can have 45 to 60 pound limbs. You can also have 55 to 70 pound limbs. And then the brace height on that is a little bit shorter at 6 inches. Therefore, you're going to get a little bit more arrow speed out of that. So it's coming in at about 340 feet a second. It's also 4.1 pounds, and the axle to axle length is 32 inches. So you got about an inch difference, which is not really a whole lot when you're talking about these two bows. And the draw length is 26 inches all the way out to 30 inches. Because of the length of that bow, you're going to get a little bit more draw length compensation there. So these are basically going to be men's bows. Women are usually going to be, you know, unless you're a taller woman, you're going to be probably somewhere in the 24 to 26 range. So you're probably not going to be one looking at these bows. A few major differences between these two bows. Of course, with more money, you're going to get a few more features with it. The Pursuit bow, you've only got one setting for let off, and it's already set, factory set at 75% let off. That means when you come to full draw, how much of that poundage comes off that bow. So if you're shooting, let's say 60 pounds, and you pull that bow all the way back and lock it into the valley is the point at which the bow feels like it cocks. And it's easier to hold back. You're going to be holding 25% of 60 pounds, if that makes sense. So 75% let off means 75% off of 60 pounds. With the Epic bow, you have a whole lot more adjustability with it. When you get it into the full position or the full lock position, at which you would say full draw, you can adjust that cam. That cam is made such that you can adjust it all the way from 75, you set it at 75% let off, 80, 85, and 90% let off. And if you got that on a 90% let off, it's almost gonna feel like you have to push that string away. It feels so light when you're holding back. So that's something to consider, whether you're gonna spend that extra money for the Epic bow or not. All right, let me give you my rating on these, and I've got 4 different categories. These are just kind of general categories as I think through how I'm going to look at a bow to try to purchase that bow for hunting. And that's what I do. I hunt. I don't shoot competitively or anything like that. I just want a nice, comfortable bow that's easy to get around the forest and the public land or wherever I'm hunting, so that it's comfortable to get around, and a very comfortable shooting bow, as well as a killing machine, because I want a very accurate bow that shoots a good arrow speed. So here are my 4 different categories of this: shootability, comfort, accuracy, and usability. And interestingly enough, as I shot both of these bows, I found them to be very comparable in feel. There was some differences, and I'll highlight those as we think through this together. First of all, shootability. Both of these bows, I gave it 4 stars. And the bow seems very easy to shoot. It's not as comfortable as I shoot. Right now I'm shooting a Matthews V3, which is a $1,300 bow, something like that. I think they have the V3X out now. And that bow is really, really shootable and very comfortable. But in this price range for a budget bow like this, the shootability was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. So I gave that a 4 star. A comfort level was a 3.5 star for both of these bows. Now, the difference between the two, like I said, the Pursuit, on the comfortability, 75% let off is gonna cause you to work a little bit harder on the end where you're at full draw. And so the Epic is going to give you a little bit more adjustability. So I would encourage you to go shoot both these bows. If you're considering one or the other of these bows, go shoot both of them and try to shoot them that epic at a higher let off, say about an 85%. You'll be able to tell the difference in holding back that bow if you're shooting the same poundage. So I gave them the same star rating on that. But if you're looking for a little bit more comfortable bow, probably the epic is the way to go. Now you might be wondering why I gave this bow on the comfort level a 3.5 star. And probably the biggest reason why I gave it a 3.5 star is with both these bows, there was hand shock and there was some vibration to the bow. You could probably add some dampeners and things to dampen down some of that vibration, but there was definitely some hand shock. Is it a deal breaker? Probably not. Because and again, this is probably where I'm being a little bit too harsh on this bow, because I'm used to shooting the Matthews V3, and with the Matthews V3 there is no hand shock whatsoever. That bow is dead in the hand. Okay, so take this with a grain of salt. If you're getting into a budget bow, you're probably going to experience the same thing with almost every other bow. And so there is some hand shock on this bow. There is also some vibration. Accuracy, I found. And again, I was demoing these bows, so I couldn't really dial them in to get them tight. But when I would get that pin at the same spot, those arrows were hitting pretty much in the same spot. This would not be a bow that I would shoot out probably past 50 yards comfortably. I shoot out to, with my Matthews V3, I shoot out to 95 yards. So you could shoot that far with these bows, but the accuracy is going to drop off quite a bit at those further ranges. So accuracy, I gave it for a budget level bow. Again, trying to understand this is a budget level bow. Accuracy, I gave it a 4 star. Usability, I gave it a 4 star. The weight on these bows is really, really good, because if you're going to go on a public land hunt or somewhere out where you've got to drag your bow somewhere, you don't really want a heavy bow. I like the lighter bows. That way you're not having to drag around something that feels like lead, whether it be on your backpack or whether you're carrying it around, whatever the case might be. So I gave the usability on that one 4 star. Now, which one of these bows would I buy? If I was in the market for a budget bow, probably the Epic is just a notch higher. That extra $100, or if you get it right now, as soon as this video comes out, it looks like Cabela's has it for about $550. So $50 more, I would definitely get the Epic. $100 more, I'm not quite sure. These cams, one of the things I didn't talk about is these cams, the Epic cam is a little bit more aggressive. And so as far as going back up to the comfort level, the Epic is going to be a little bit harder to pull, and then and so the Pursuit's going to be a little bit smoother on the pull, but the Pursuit only gives you the 75% let off, which the Epic gives you a choice all the way from 75 to 90% let off. That's why those stars, the comfort stars, are the same, just because of the fact that those cams on the Epic are a little bit harsher on the pull, but it's not so harsh that you can't shoot it, or that the shootability is not that great. So which one would I buy? If I was in the market for a budget bow, I would purchase the Epic. I would go ahead and pay the little extra money for that to get a little bit more versatility in that bow. The 32-inch axle is not a whole lot different than the 31. You won't have a problem getting that bow up in a tree stand. You're not going to have that problem getting that bow in a box blind. A tent blind, I usually like a 28-inch bow or a 27-inch bow is what I have with my V3, but you could use these definitely out of a tent blind and definitely be very functional. So hope that's helped you out in your look at these two different bows. Be sure and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and you will get, and tick the little reminder bell, and we'll give you notification of future videos as they come out. Thank you for watching.